I've stood in the shadow of Bangkok's golden temples, their gilded spires piercing the humid sky. I've wandered the lantern-lit streets of Hoi An, where every corner whispers centuries of history. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what I found in Malaysia. And what I discovered, there is reshaping Southeast Asia in ways the world isn't talking about. But wait, before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Most travelers visit Kuala Lumpur for 2 to 3 days, snap a photo at the Petronas Towers, then leave. I almost did the same. On day 3, I was in a taxi heading to the airport when my driver, Ahmad, a 52-year-old former factory worker with weathered hands and sharp eyes, turned down the radio and said something that made me cancel my flight. "Malaysia is not what you see," he said slowly. "It's what you feel when you stay." 24 hours later, I understood. And what I felt was something Thailand and Vietnam, as beautiful as they are, haven't figured out yet. Let's talk numbers first because they're shocking. Malaysia's GDP per capita sits at $12,400 as of 2024. Thailand, $7,800. Vietnam, $4,200. That's a significant gap. But here's the twist. This isn't about being richer. It's about something far more powerful, something that happens when you walk through a single neighborhood at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. What I saw next explained everything. Jalan Alor in Kuala Lumpur. The air is thick with the smell of grilled satay and bubbling curry. Chinese hawker stalls with red lanterns glowing next to Indian restaurants serving steaming banana leaf rice. Walk 200 meters and you'll find a Malay mosque lit up for evening prayers, with a Buddhist temple visible just beyond it. The sounds blend Mandarin bargaining, Tamil greetings, Malay laughter, English everywhere. I met Priya there, a 34-year-old Indian-Malaysian cafe owner with a bright smile and flower on her apron. Her grandfather came from Tamil Nadu in 1960, spoke no Malay, and worked on rubber plantations for decades. Priya now speaks 4 languages fluently and serves Chinese-Malay fusion food that people line up for. She told me something striking. In Malaysia, we argue about politics and race all the time. But at dinner, we all eat the same food. That's when the statistics hit differently. Malaysia's population is 69% Bumiputera, mostly Malay, 23% Chinese, 7% Indian, and a mix of indigenous groups. Compare that to Thailand, which is 95% ethnically Thai, or Vietnam, which is 86% Kin Vietnamese. But here's the real shocker. The Pew Research Center's 2023 Religious Diversity Index ranked Malaysia second globally, second only to Singapore for religious and ethnic diversity. Think about that. In a single city block, you'll find mosques, temples, churches, and gurdwaras. Thai food is incredible. Vietnamese culture is rich, but Malaysia? Malaysia is a living experiment in coexistence. But this diversity nearly destroyed them once. May 13th, 1969. Racial riots erupted in Kuala Lumpur, leaving the nation bleeding and divided. I won't dwell on the violence, but the aftermath matters. Malaysia could have fractured. Instead, they did something radical. They created the Rukunegara, a national philosophy built on unity, and implemented economic policies to redistribute wealth while keeping the door open for all communities to thrive. I met Uncle Tan, a 68-year-old Chinese Malaysian who runs a hardware store in Ipoh. His hands are calloused, his Mandarin accented with Malay. In the 70s, he told me, pouring tea, my father wanted to leave. He thought we'd never belong. In the 80s, I decided to stay. Best decision of my life. His store now employs Malays, Indians, and Chinese. His grandchildren speak 3 languages at home. Here's the genius of Malaysia's approach. Bumiputera policies give advantages to the Malay majority, yes. But economic opportunity remained open. The result? Chinese Malaysians control roughly 40% of the corporate sector while making up just 23% of the population, according to the Malaysian Economic Statistics Review 2023. It's imperfect, contentious, debated daily, but it works enough to keep people invested. Thailand and Vietnam don't face this challenge at the same scale. Homogeneity has its advantages: social cohesion, shared identity. But Malaysia learned to turn diversity into an engine. And the real proof? You can taste it. It was 2 a.m. I was at a Mamak stall, a uniquely Malaysian institution run by Indian Muslims. The menu was absurd. Roti canai next to Chinese fried rice, nasi lemak alongside spaghetti carbonara. A Malay family sat next to Chinese teenagers, everyone sipping the tariq and arguing about football. I met Rashid, a 29-year-old third-generation Mamak owner. My grandfather only made roti canai. He said, flipping dough with practiced ease. My father added Chinese fried rice because customers wanted it. I serve Japanese teriyaki now. This is Malaysia. That culinary fusion isn't just cultural, it's economic. Malaysia's food tourism industry is worth $2.1 billion as of 2024. CNN named Malaysian cuisine the world's fourth best in 2023. The secret? Fusion born from necessity became a competitive advantage. Thailand has pad thai. Vietnam has pho. Malaysia has everything because everyone contributed. But let's talk infrastructure, because this is where I was truly speechless. Bangkok's BTS Skitran, 43 kilometers. Hanoi's metro, 13 kilometers. Kuala Lumpur's integrated rail system MRT, LRT, monorail combined, over 180 kilometers and expanding. I took the MRT from the airport to the city center, 12 minutes, spotless trains, which cost less than $2. Then there's internet speed. Malaysia averages 115 megabits per second. Thailand, 67 megabits per second. Vietnam, 60 megabits per second. For digital nomads, content creators, remote workers, Malaysia is quietly winning. And here's the paradox. Quality is higher, but prices are competitive. A decent apartment in Kuala Lumpur costs roughly the same as one in Bangkok or Hanoi. But you get better infrastructure, more diversity, and proximity to Singapore, one of the world's wealthiest nations. That proximity is Malaysia's hidden weapon. Over 1.1 million Malaysians work in Singapore, earning strong salaries and sending money back. It's not brain drain, it's brain circulation. The World Bank's 2024 Migration and Development report noted Malaysia has the highest skilled worker retention rate in ASEAN. People leave for experience, then come back to build. But there's a hidden problem no one's talking about. Race-based politics still dominate Malaysia. Policies meant to uplift the Malay majority sometimes feel restrictive to minorities. Youth frustration is growing. Brain drain to Singapore, Australia, and the UK is real. I met Amir, a 26-year-old engineering graduate in a Kuala Lumpur cafe. Bright, ambitious, fluent in 3 languages. I love Malaysia, he said, stirring his coffee slowly. But sometimes opportunities feel limited by my race. Should I stay or leave? It's the question haunting Malaysia's future. But here's the counter-movement. The 2018 elections ended 61 years of single-party rule. The 2022 elections brought reformists to power. Change is slow, messy, but happening. A 2024 survey by the Institute of Strategic and International Studies Malaysia found that 67% of youth want race-based policies reformed in favor of merit-based systems. Malaysia isn't perfect, but they're trying. Messily, loudly, imperfectly, but genuinely. So what can Thailand and Vietnam learn? Thailand has unmatched tourism and cultural soft power. Vietnam has explosive manufacturing growth and a young, energetic population. Both are succeeding in their own ways. But Malaysia is betting on something different. That managed diversity can be an economic engine. That fusion cultural, culinary, and economic creates resilience. When different communities have a stake, everyone fights to keep. My final night was in Penang, watching Chinese New Year fireworks. Malay families stood next to Indian friends, everyone celebrating together. A Chinese lion dance troupe performed outside a Hindu temple. Hawker stalls sold spring rolls next to curry puffs. I wasn't speechless because Malaysia was perfect. I was speechless because despite the tensions, the arguments, the imperfections, they're building something rare. A place where difference isn't a flaw to fix, but a feature to refine. Thailand gave me serenity. Vietnam gave me energy. But Malaysia? Malaysia gave me hope. Hope that diversity doesn't have to divide, that differences can be bridges, not walls. So here's my question for you. Would you choose economic growth without diversity, or embrace the beautiful chaos Malaysia is betting on? Drop diversity if you think Malaysia's model could work globally, or growth if you think Thailand and Vietnam's approach is smarter. And if you've been to Malaysia, tell me, what left you